Hello. Today we're gonna take care of my houseplants. Before we get into everything, please make sure you hit like and subscribe. Maybe you've been binge watching my videos and you just forgot to hit that subscribe button. Welcome to the community. I also have YouTube memberships, which you can check out at the link in the description. Today we have a super relaxed video. I'm gonna take care of my plants. I'm gonna take care of my plants and you're gonna hang out with me while I do it. You don't get a choice. We need to water some plants and we need to put away some other plants. I've got quite a few plants that I just got sent. So we need to find those guys a home. We need to water almost all of the plants in my collection. Let's do it. I also have a ton of new growth to look at with you. A little update on my little terrarium. I only found like that one snail and everything's been okay since then. All right. Let's do it. I just realized how much under eye BS I have going on, so I tried to wipe it off. All right, isn't that just the cutest? You can't tell me that this isn't the cutest hairstyle in the world. I'm sorry, but you can't. First of all, Miss Ashley, if you're watching, your Hoya is doing really good. I think I've almost rehabbed it completely. So it's been soaking in moss for the last like 2 weeks and she's doing really good. There are some leaves that are not gonna make it. These two right here aren't doing so hot, but almost all of them are doing just fine and they are coming back. It has been almost, I think like what, a 4-week process. Most of these leaves are doing literally so well. So I was really worried because when you sent this to me, I was like, bro, this is not gonna do well. Look, they're even rooting. This is literally just in a bowl of moss. You guys, this is my salad bowl. I had to sacrifice my salads for the survival of this Hoya, and I have to say it's been worth it because she do be surviving. This one I actually just watered. Like whenever I have literally any extra water bottles, I just dump them into this bowl. And I think that that's been my secret to success thus far. But I'm just really excited because I really thought this was gonna die for a really long time. It's doing really good and it's pinker than ever, So let's talk terrarium. So here we have the illustrious aquarium. Let's get inside. So right away I can see that the orchids need to be watered, the hanging mounted orchids. Also, I think we got our first beautiful Ilsamani eye leaf. The stem came out half pink, half green. Just looking at it, I think it's gonna be really, really nice. I'll show you. This is what Raven does all of the time. She climbs onto my chair and then she wants pets. You like the pets, huh? Oh. Okay, you guys see this? Like the whole half stem here is pink. The other side isn't. And we have to be really delicate because she is opening up, but you can already see some really good variegation. So I'm excited. She's killing it. She's doing an amazing job. And my Gigas is giving us another child right there. Everyone is doing pretty good. I don't think we need to water anything in this terrarium except for our up high orchids. I think for the most part, everything is okay. Our Florida Beauty is also working on throwing some hands right now. Her little petiole sheath right there is starting to get kind of upright and pokey. And also, that is just the most beautiful begonia I've ever seen. Right next to the other most beautiful begonia I've ever seen. How beautiful, you guys. Oh my gosh, I love this tank. I'm really glad we made sure that it was safe. And I cannot wait to see what she looks like. Oh my God. Terrarium is done. What? What? Now we're gonna water the couch plants. As you can see, there are many of them. Sometimes it can be a little difficult to know when your plants really need water, especially these bigger ones that you might not be able to get to as easily. But I just make sure that I keep track in my head of like when I watered it last. I monitor the leaves, how droopy they look. If they're putting out a new leaf, they're gonna want water like, you know, more often than they would if they weren't putting out a new leaf. All right, let's move to the Hoya section. This section is always just a little bit tricky. So what I do is I feel every single leaf to figure out like what does this plant need. This plant is weird. This is my Hoya lacunosa Longkawi Island, and so she gets kind of a weird situation because she has two differently shaped leaves. Pot still feels kind of heavy from her last watering, so I'm going to skip. These all feel pretty tough. All of my perlite plants do need water though. I think this one's good. My Bertonii is flowering, so I am gonna give him a hearty drink because when plants are flowering or putting out new leaves, they need extra water. Also, his leaves feel a little bit thin. This is my philodendron Heteracea variegata. She's really beautiful. Here is actually her newest leaf. So beautiful. And this plant grows really fast, but I also keep it in this littler pot for how big this plant is. So this plant drinks more often than I think any other plant in my collection. I probably water this one maybe once every 2 to 3 days. Bring you guys this way a little bit more. String of turtles is interesting. This one I just keep here so that it gets the most sun possible, but we're gonna move him just for now. It looks like my string of hearts really needs water. How you can tell with string of hearts if they need water is their leaves will be like exceptionally like flat. You want them to be full and succulent because they are a succulent, so we're gonna give this one a huge drink. She also gets a ton of sun, so she's going to need more water than as per usual. Dump the rest of it right in there. So now I'm gonna take care of my plants that are a little bit farther back. This Hoya acuta needs water really bad. Don't worry, it always does that. So I'm just gonna hold it over my little terrarium. So now I'm gonna refill all of my perlite plants. These are my semi-hydro Hoyas with some water because it has been quite a minute. And I'm gonna do all of my 2-inch Hoya just because they're all putting out new leaves and they're all in such small pots. Sometimes it can be hard to tell. This is a very dehydrated Hoya Kalimantan. This process is really cathartic. I have a really fun time doing this, to be honest, because I don't water my plants often, so when I do, it's fun to see them just soak up all the water, check on them just a few hours later, and almost all of them are like completely good again. Some of these Hoya I've had for a really long time and they haven't given me any new growth, and that can just be how it is with Hoya sometimes. Pretty slow growing, but that is how I like, that's how I like my plants to be. So I personally don't mind it. Hoya are for people who pay attention to their collections that much. You know, you can water your Hoya and then not come back to it for quite a long time and he'll be just fine on his own. So we are now on our 4th can of water and we're working our way over to the Hoya in the back. I always miss my Hoya fungi, like every single time. I also missed this one. The really fun thing about Hoya, who you keep in jars, is you can kind of watch the water seep down to the roots, and also you can always see how beautiful your root system is looking. I wish I had more cute little jars. We did everything we needed to do down low, so now we get to do up high. This is one of my newer plants. This is my cute little string of pearls, and I haven't had to water him yet. Oh. He pees. This little Hoya carnoustic compacta, she is very thirsty. Ooh, she made the whole plant rise up. Yeah, this is like one of my favorite plants because of how long this little rope is right here. She's extremely thirsty. You can probably tell from there. It looks like our burrow's tail is starting to get thirsty, so we'll water that one in a few days. Okay, well, good news. That's half of the room, and now we just have the other half of the room. Wow, we've been going for 20 minutes. Okay, let's do this greenhouse. So this is my big old terrarium, and she has some plants that do need to be watered. So I'm gonna take them out and then I'm gonna water them. We have this Epipremnum pinnatum albo variegata, and I'm gonna water them over the terrarium in case they like spill a little bit, because they will. Drink up, my lord. Great, and then we're gonna put him back in there. He's a little atoliated, but it's fine. I moved him in the middle of putting out that leaf, so he feels like a little jinxed. Next we have the pink princess. Her cup is still pretty darn moist, and it's a little wet in the bottom. You can kind of see the water. So we actually do not need to water her yet. Looks like she's doing really nice, and she's putting out a new leaf right now, so that's exciting. Exciting times. Okay, we have some plants down here I'm just gonna water and not show you because they're a little big to take out. Ah, you guys, we did it. I have had this plant for so long. We have yet to see a child, and look, is a baby Feryx leaf. I'm actually gonna put this in a sunnier spot, but that is 100% a baby Feryx leaf, Begonia Feryx. Wow. Okay, I'm actually gonna put this in my other terrarium since there's extra room, because it's definitely gonna need that light. Oh my gosh, growth feels good. So I do have a sad update. So this is the elbow that I got, and it looks like the new leaf did not make it, even though it was next day shipping, which is pretty sad face, but that is okay. The genes on this plant are really good and beautiful, so we will see new growth coming from the node in the future. We will not be seeing its new leaf, which is the bad news that I'm unfortunately here to tell you. Here we have another stunner. This is my Begonia Cleopatra, but she needs some water, so we're gonna give her some water. She's putting out a ton of babies, which is so exciting. Over here we have another exciting I think I'll also put this one in my other terrarium. This is my Hoya imbricata, who is with child. So he's currently in the process of throwing some hands. So I'm gonna move him over to the other terrarium as well, I think, now that we know for sure it's not a fluke, and he's gonna make some heckin' babies. We have our little Begonia Malachysticta. She is still recovering from not being in a terrarium for that one time that she wasn't in a terrarium, so. And the cool thing is that all of the excess water that gets spilled in the terrarium only makes it just more humid. Here we have my Burl Marks variegata. She's living her best life, I hope. I'm gonna give her some water. She doesn't need it. She's a little heavy, but her moss, I think, needs to be re-wetted a little bit, so. Different begonia have different care requirements, so I'm moving that other begonia to the other terrarium because it definitely is gonna need more light. Our Rex begonias, which I think are a little bit different. I could be wrong. The other one could be a Rex begonia, who knows? But I just know that Begonia Feryx is difficult and we'll need some extra love. This is my philodendron Jerry Horn. My mom fell in love with this plant the last time we were at the Potted Elephant, and she got herself a plant and gave me a top cutting just because she knows that I love plants. Hers has grown a ton since then, and mine has put out quite a few little leaves, which is so fun. Next, we have something so funky. So this is my philodendron Atabilly, so Atabapoense Billy Tie hybrid. He's trying to put out a new leaf, but I don't quite know what he's doing. And my huge Caliana is doing great. She just keeps throwing more and more and more hands. She has 2 growth points she's actively using, and yeah, she's beautiful. 10 out of 10, would recommend. Don't you guys like this? It just really feels like we're hanging out. I don't know. You guys have a parasocial relationship with me, and I have a parasocial relationship of the idea of you. This is my Florida ghost. He has been increasingly getting less and less ghost-like. So I don't know what that's about, but he is putting out 2 new little growth points down low. I don't know if you can see the second one, but there's a baby one, and then there's a big one happening. I'm gonna give him just a little bit of water, but this pot holds water so well. Cute little Standaleona Albo. He has successfully rooted himself into the soil, so now when I tug up, he could come out. Obviously I could remove him from the soil, but that is not what we want. And he's putting out a new aerial root at the new node, and he's putting out this new leaf. And what he seems to do is we get 1 half moon-ish leaf, and then we get a normal leaf, and then we get a half moon, and then we get a normal. Well, this one was, our normal one was right here, and then we get a half moon, and then we get a normal. I don't expect, when I see something like this, I'm not worried, because it's like, okay, wow, my hair looks so white, you guys. Oh my God, I love it. She's cute. She's doing a really good job, to be honest. She might need more light. We're just gonna keep, monitoring the situation. Begonia Raja, I recently did a trade. I separated a teeny tiny little bit. These propagations like to stay hecka wet. What you've all been waiting to see, and I'm excited to show you. Wow, look at him go. This is my Botanicus Albo that I bought last summer. Finally giving me some new growth. I promise you the wait will be worth it. Literally, he didn't grow at all. I had him potted up with my other Albo and he was not growing. And then I potted him up bottom half of one of my recycled water bottles, and his roots are going mad. They are all over. especially down low. I'm excited to see what he's gonna look like. He is gonna need to be repotted as soon as this leaf ends up coming out, probably in the next month and a half or so, and we have a new Ace of Spades leaf coming in all the way down there. See it? The little guy? You see him? He's right there. So this leaf is from when I sold him to Natalie. This leaf is when she got it, and it never put out a new leaf again. And it literally didn't put out any new leaves in my care, and it put this leaf out the week it was in her care. So I think it just needs to be stressed. So I think I'm gonna start stressing it more, but also I have a theory that it's not a full Ace of Spades. I feel like it's an Ace Poppy, just because of the way that the veining is and the type of leaf shape and the sinus shape. But also I'm just I don't know anything. So she's loving life. She's beautiful. I'm glad I got to get her back. It's gonna be difficult for me to show you. And honestly, I should probably just move it. So philodendron, Adapoense already grow remarkably fast. As you can tell, this plant is much bigger since just the last time I showed it to you. And it grows fast all on its own. Usually it doesn't need any help. It'll just need something to climb. Since air layering it, it's throwing root hands. So both of these are roots. This one right here and this one right here, they're both fully just roots. There are a ton of roots happening inside. This whole thing right here is a root. I don't know if you can see it very well. There are tons of those. So we have another one right here trying to actually break out. I don't know, it's a lot going on, and I'm excited because I want to get this plant massive. She's so beautiful. She's growing so beautifully. The back obviously is bald, but like that is incredible, bro. And since air layering it, the leaves are getting bigger again. So this is your sign to start air layering things instead of doing moss poles, because it just works way better. And look at how deep red the back of the leaves are getting. So this was the second to last one. This was the most recent one. And as you can tell, she's giving us another child. It's probably gonna be massive, and I don't think it's gonna fit in my terrarium. It is massive though. I just wanna keep staring at her. Is that how you guys feel? Look at this child, she's huge. Now, this guy might look like the opposite of success, but I assure you, he is just going through a phase. This is my philodendron giganteum blizzard, like a sponsored import, and I should air layer him too, but he put out this really green leaf recently, and it's my favorite one. I know that the white leaves are like kind of pretty, but that just looks like a pothos to me. Epipremnum. This one looks godly. I don't know. That's just really, really, really beautiful, man. And the last exciting one I have to show you is my Squamiferium, which I keep like I don't know, because it has symptoms of thrip damage, but I don't like see any thrips at all, and I keep checking on it. He is also taking extremely well to the air layering. So as soon as possible, I'm trapping him, because he's like a palm tree right now. He's so tall and so ugly, to be honest. Okay, I did find thrips this time. Okay. Do not panic, everybody. Everything is gonna be fine. So whenever you find thrips, what you do is, so thrips are picky. If you find them on one plant, they are not going to be on every other plant. That is a lie. Wow, my hair looks sick, bro. Okay, sorry. That is a lie. You were probably told, like, oh my gosh, if you find thrips somewhere, they have to be everywhere, and that is just not true. Thrips are picky insects, just like scale. So what I am gonna do though is check my other plants just to double check that they don't have thrips, but I'm gonna spray this down with Captain Jack's. You don't need to panic. You don't need to clean out your entire collection. The first time I got thrips, I went berserk mode and literally like exercised, I don't know, repotted every single plant in my collection and sprayed everything down, and it was just like a whole thing. So you don't need to do that. Thrips are really not that bad, especially if you keep them under control. They are just like any other household pest. Like, it's gonna be kind of worse sometimes than others. So keep that in your little head. Everything's gonna be fine. If you find thrips, don't panic. Just isolate the plant and then spray Captain Jack's on it, which is what I recommend 100% for all pests. But yeah, I'm gonna go put this in my bathroom. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the remaining water to re-wet the moss up top. So you wanna make sure that we are keeping it evenly humid. I'm gonna tilt this whole thing forward, so hopefully he doesn't hit them. It's always hard to put these like back in the order that you took them out. That's interesting. That means my suspicions the other day were correct. There was just like a couple bugs crawling around on the inside petiole of this elbow, and I was like, they don't look like thrips, but they might be, so I'll just like spray it down with Jack's. And he sits right next to the swami, so this guy back down here. Now, would you believe me if I told you we still have an entire section left? So we gotta get this guy out of the way very gently. I have him on a roller, so whenever I need to move him, I can just easily slide him out of the way. All right, you guys have been begging me for this for a while. I'm gonna show you how I water my orchids. Orchids are right down here. Okay, so this is my little orchid collection. It's not, I mean, my terrestrial orchid collection, I should be more clear. These are my Paphiopedilums. Paphiopedilum. I used to have a bin to water them over, but it doesn't exist anymore. I need to get a bucket. Yeah, I definitely need to get a bucket or something. Okay, grab some little thingies. And it's hard because quite a few of these are like really small. So I just water over her, make sure the plants get, because like you literally can never give a peace lily too much water. So then I have other plants up here that also need to be watered. So I'm just gonna put them on a little tray to dry. The shelf is like so water damaged. It's like my plant shelf. So I just, you know, roll with the punches. I definitely do need to water my Paphiopedilums more than I currently do. That's okay because I'm recognizing it. And at some point I will implement those changes. Paphiopedilum are very decently forgiving plants, and you want to do like a really deep watering. I definitely let my Paphiopedilum go way too long this time. In my defense, I was kind of sad. I have just 2 more of these little small ones. Bro, I cannot wait to go back to Orchid Dynasty someday. Yeah, this one doesn't even really need that much water right now anyways. We got one more small boy, and we're gonna water him over my carrii, who also desperately needs some water. I know a lot of people bottom water their orchids. Now that we got all the little ones out of the way, we can focus on the big ones. I water these so much that the water will like pool up and it'll kind of like bottom water itself sometimes if they really need it. Like that one really needs some water. This one is one of my favorite. He's getting so big since I got him. He's actually doing really good. And I did put moss around the tops of them, so that way. This one has grown for me a ton since I got it. This is new, and also this is new, the one it's currently putting in. He does not currently need any water, but this boy 100% really does. All right, I'm gonna go fill my watering can for the final time. All right, and now I'm gonna let these guys soak up. Catalea do not need water at this moment, so we're gonna leave them. Some of these guys are already sucking up the water so fast. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I know you guys really needed it. I have not gotten this down yet enough to give you guys advice. Okay, now we're gonna focus on our up high houseplants. So right here we have our little carrii, which we water just a little bit, but we're gonna give him a ton more water because he really heckin' needs it. Cool, and then this is again gonna fill up down here, and I'm gonna come back to it in about 12 hours, and whatever is left in here, I dump. So yeah, our peace lily is watered sufficiently, so we don't need to water that again. This needs to soak, and then I'm gonna water my little string of hearts, which are back here. They both need a really good watering this time through. Hoya carnosa compacta needs a really good amount too. This took us 1 hour and 6 minutes, and I didn't even get to do any other plant chores. And it's fully dark outside now, so there's that. So the only plants we didn't water are these ones, and they do not need to be watered yet. I just watered them about a week ago actually, so those guys are sitting nice and pretty, minding their own business. That spider plant might need to be watered soon. As you can see, there are kind of some dry tips happening, or maybe you can't see, but yeah, but everything else is going really well. I'm really excited for my little little philodendron heteroraceum right here to get really, really long and big and just be a jungle over my desk. I'm so excited to see where these plants end up being in the next like year and a half. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure you hit like, subscribe, and tweet me at PlantMeAshley. Follow me on Instagram at PlantMeAshley for more fun plant content. I do a ton of planty reels on there. Also, if you want to become a member and join my private community of 80 members, we have a Discord where we are always active for the most part. We have tons of different tiers, and there's always someone to help answer your planty questions and give you some planty advice, including me. So if you want to become a member, you can check that out at the link in the description. If you want to check out my merch, I have a ton of really cute merch at the link in the description as well. If you liked my glasses, I have 5 different pairs of Zimph glasses. You can use code Ashley to get 50% off frames and 20% off lenses at zimph.com. I have a friend who saved over $100 using my code, so go and check that out. It really helps support the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I swear this hair has turned me into a new person. I think she's more confident than she was before. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next houseplant section. Honey. I can be a TikTok dancer. I can. Okay, bye. So I totally forgot to put these guys away. My friend Mavis is coming to pick up her plants tomorrow, but I 100% forgot to put these away. So I am gonna do that, but this video is already so long, so I'm gonna spare you. Oh, I'm just dropping everything. I'm just dropping everything. Little silver sword guy is living his life. I'm so excited to have one. Oh my gosh, I love it. Anyways, peace.